In today's video, we're talking airport eating. What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the video. My name is Tyler, also known as the Fit Chemist, and I help young men take control of their fitness, nutrition, and lifestyle habits so that ultimately we can lead healthier and happier lives. So if you're new here, welcome. Please consider subscribing. Turn those notification bells on so you don't miss when I post new videos. And if you are returning, welcome back. I'm so glad that you are here. This upcoming weekend, I'm heading back to my alma mater, Illinois Wesleyan University, to celebrate a friend's marriage as well as celebrate their homecoming weekend. So I am super pumped for that. I can't wait to celebrate and also see all of my old college friends and just be back on campus for the first time since I graduated. So when you're seeing this, it was either last weekend or 2 weekends ago when I was on this trip, but I was thinking ahead and I was thinking a lot of times people travel and they get super off track because, let's be honest, eating in the airport is somewhat difficult. So in this video, I'm first going to share some strategies with you guys on how to actually plan ahead and bring some food and bring some snacks. Or when I'm in the airport, I'm just going to sort of take you guys along for the ride, do a little vlog style type video and show you how I go about eating healthy or staying on track when I'm in the airport. So this video is actually going to be a part 1 of 2. I feel like a lot of people do get off track in the airport, but what also happens is that people get back late on a Sunday night like I'm going to, and then they don't have any food for the upcoming week and they get off track for that. So in part 2 of the video, I'm actually going to share some go-to meal prep recipes when I'm in a time crunch. Fun fact, when you are going through security, you probably already know that you can't bring any drinks or liquids, but you can bring food. Sometimes you might get your bag pulled off to the side and the security guard or whatever TSA agent will look through your bag or look through the food and make sure you're not smuggling any drugs. But honestly, that's the worst that's happened to me, and I've done it multiple times at this point. And that's from bringing something as small as a snack, like maybe some almonds, to bring like a full-on meal prep or an entire loaf of banana bread. When I did that, they just pulled it aside and they're like, still warm. And I was like, yes. So nothing bad's gonna happen to you. You can bring food through the airport. As far as being prepared goes, I would say there's a number of good snack options. So I wrote some down on my phone here that I'll share. So beef jerky is a good option. Some almonds, cashews, or some sort of trail mix. If you have Justin's almond butter packets at your store, so like these little peanut butter or almond butter packets, you just rip off the top, you can get a serving of that. Prepackaged tuna, it might be good for protein, but the people on the plane around you or in the airport around you might not appreciate you for that. If you do go with that option, just be mindful of the people around you. Fruits, so bananas, apples, oranges, whatever you want to bring, maybe a kiwi, who knows. Protein bars, probably the greatest option because you want to get your protein in. Fig bars, dried fruit, and granola. So all these are great options that you can bring through security. And in my view, it's better to bring more of those snacks than you think you'll need, because sometimes what happens is your flight gets canceled or there's a longer layover than you expected. It's always better to have extra snacks in case you get hungry than it is to not have anything at all. My flight is at 4 p.m. on a Thursday, and I typically eat my first dinner at 5 p.m. and then another dinner at like 8:30 or 9. So I'm considering heading over to Subway, picking up a sandwich, and then that way I can sort of have half of that towards the beginning and then maybe half towards the end of that flight, and I should be covered. That way I can get my protein in and stay on track. And thinking ahead, I know that the terminal that I'm gonna be at just doesn't really have that many food options, and the ones that they do have are ridiculously expensive. Like, why is airport food so expensive to begin with? I don't know. That's a topic for another video, maybe, probably not. But either way, I'm gonna meet you guys once I'm through security in the airport, hopefully wearing the same shirt. I don't know, I gotta do laundry soon, and then I'm also getting a haircut, so that fresh cut, that fresh fade for the wedding. But like I said, I'll meet you once I'm through security. All right, so we are through airport security, but first things first, gotta fill up our water bottle. My first tip for when you're traveling in the airport is going to be to hydrate, because the more water you have in your system, the more full you're gonna feel, because all of that water is sitting in your stomach. But you also have to be careful so that you're not using the bathroom like 20 times on the plane. Went ahead and found a very secluded place in the airport, but as you can see, I made it through security with some trail mix, a fig bar, a protein bar, which if you haven't tried these one brand protein bars, highly recommend, and an entire Subway sandwich as promised. So as you can see, you can go through security with all sorts of food and there shouldn't be any sorts of issues. My next tip after hydrating is going to be make sure that you get enough sleep. I know there's a lot of early red-eye flights, but do your best, because when you have reduced sleep, you're actually going to increase ghrelin, which is your hunger hormone, and you're just not putting yourself in a good place to begin with. So my next tip is going to be plan ahead. It's not going to be any different than if you were going out to a restaurant with friends, but what you want to do when you come to the airport is that you know what terminal you're going to be at. So look up what restaurants are in that terminal and see if there's something that's going to fit whatever your nutrition goals are. If there aren't any restaurants that fit your nutrition goals, then it'd be wise to plan ahead and bring food like I did, and I would recommend doing that, especially if you have a super short layover, because a lot of times there'll be like a 1 hour layover, and if you don't plan ahead and you think you have time to get to the restaurant, but then you don't actually have time to get to the restaurant, you have to run somewhere else, or you have to go to a grab and go shop, and you're just not going to be able to eat what it is you want to eat in the first place. So if you have a layover, always plan ahead and bring some food. If you are going to be eating in the airport, my biggest tips for selecting a restaurant are going to be to focus on protein and then veggies second. So protein is the most satiating macronutrient. Whatever food option you go with, make sure that you're getting a big dose of protein. If you're at the airport early in the morning, I'd recommend going to a Dunkin' and getting something like an egg white veggie wrap, or same thing with Starbucks. I know they have like a feta, egg, and bacon wrap. So those are two good options. If you're looking for lunch or dinner options, I would highly recommend finding a Chipotle. Most airports have them, and then the next best bet would be something like a Potbelly or another sandwich place, which you can get a sandwich that you can load up on protein, load up on veggies, and then if you don't want a bunch of carbs, you can maybe ask them to turn it into a wrap. Or there are some restaurants that also have like salad bar type options, but that would be a good bet too. Worst case scenario, you can always go to one of those grab and go sandwich shops and grab either a parfait and a fruit cup and then maybe a sandwich from there as well. But if you do have to go with this option, personally, I would just pick planning ahead instead, so that way I can bring whatever it is I want to eat in the first place. The last thing I would say is definitely stay away from junk food like burgers, pizza, ice cream, you name it. That's just not going to keep you full on the airplane, and chances are wherever you're traveling to, you're probably going to be eating junk food when you get there. So as much as you can limit that as possible in the airport, I'd recommend doing so. I'm not sure how much I'm going to be filming in between the two airports, so it is going to be homecoming weekend and I am going to a wedding, so I want to enjoy as much time with my friends as possible. So most likely I'll be meeting you in O'Hare when it's the next flight that I'll be on when I'm coming back to Boston. But in the meantime, I don't know about you guys, I hate sitting at my gate because I'm going to be sitting on a plane for the next 2 or 3 hours. So I'm going to walk around, get some steps in, and if I see anything cool, I'll take a little video of that and share that with you as well. Wedding time is over. Unfortunately, we have to go back to reality and we are heading back to Boston. So you can see I just made it through security at the O'Hare airport. It's over my shoulder. One thing I've noticed about this airport is absolutely massive. I usually fly into Midway. This is my first time at O'Hare in like years, but I remember why I don't come here, because it's so freaking busy. I wanted to go to Chick-fil-A, that's like my usual go-to before I go through security, but unfortunately it is Sunday and Chick-fil-A is closed on Sunday. So I did take my own advice and I looked up some restaurants in the area, or I guess in this terminal, and it looks like there's a place sort of similar to a Chipotle, so we are gonna go ahead, find our gate, find that restaurant, and see what we can get for some food. So we went ahead, found our gate. Thankfully, it's like right next to the security checkpoint, which is super great, but I'm gonna go ahead, find that food, and then also probably get some steps in because I had to drive from Illinois Wesleyan back up to Chicago, and that was like a 3-hour drive. Gonna sit on the plane for 3 hours, and like I said earlier in this video, I just hate sitting at my gate waiting to get on the flight. I'm walking down the K terminal now. It's actually not as busy as I thought it would be over here, but I got a little B-roll of like the food court area. I did end up going to Burrito Beach and I got like a burrito bowl to go. Not super hungry right now, so I'll probably eat it on the plane. And I was thinking earlier, like, I don't know about you guys, but if you eat out like a bunch of times in a row, at least for me, my body starts to feel so sluggish. So like, I'm so excited to get back home, get into my routine, and then finally get back to eating my meal prepped meals. So one thing that I did forget to mention in that last clip is that I did ask for extra veggies because I've been slacking big time this week. That's gonna be it for part 1 of this video though. So when I get back to Boston later tonight, I'm actually gonna go out and I'm gonna grocery shop and show you what kind of meals that I prep when I'm in a time crunch. That's gonna be it for today's video, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below. And again, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe, turn those notification bells on because I post new videos every single Friday and you do not want to miss when they go live. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.